Chances Go Crypto Investing, bell notification, subscribe to the channel and like it to get that information and education you need from a trusted source and the top crypto insider XRP influencer and crypto on social media and here exclusively on YouTube. And that's why you come here with a probability based industry exclusive company made trading system that we use, information, technicals, news, use case into a probability-based system. A Ripple files and breaking news lawsuit against UK money transfer service Bone, listed by the Australian exchange. SHIBA sees 2,180% spike in whale transaction. Crypto news. Uh, Today has prepared summaries of the top three news stories over the past couple of days in the cryptocurrency. According to recent report by Law 360 Ripple Singapore unit, Ripple Labs Singapore PTE LTE is suing GCC Exchange for almost 13.8 million euros, I believe that says, or $14.9 million, as the dollar is more valuable than the euro. The lawsuit was filed in July of 2023, but it was made publicly once only recently. Per Ripple allegations, GCC Exchange failed to pay invoice for over 40,000 transfers of XRP units that it withdrew within the framework of a supply deal, thus breaking the deal scored between the two entities in 2022. The defendant is required by Ripple to pay the sum of the invoice as well as the ever-growing amount of late fees. So that's very interesting. Bone listed by the Australian Exchange following the growing adoption of uh, Shibarium, its governance token. Bone scores more and more listings in a recent post on X platform, formerly known as the Twittersphere. Australian crypto exchange GroveX announced that it will add the Bone ShibaSwap token, Bone USDT, on September 8th at 7 p.m. The exchange has already made Bone deposits available for its users, but withdrawals will open on the day of the official listing, right? So that's some news there. Ripple in a little lawsuit in a tangle with a bad business deal, not getting paid. Bone being listed on an exchange, which is good and bullish for Shiba Coin, right? And if we look at the brief Shiba Coin price target, we had that big rally that we were talking about that we thought we could happen. Then we got harshly rejected up here into this VP volume indicator. And as you know, when you're coming from below it, it likes to act as resistance, just like it did. This time it flew all the way up to the top of it and got rejected. More resistance right here, because when you're coming from below, the VP volume indicator, the mean of the volume of the trading in red, likes to act as resistance, as there's a lot of sellers here. When you're coming from above it, right, like this, it likes to act as support because there's buyers below it, right? We got rejected off there. We're trying to stabilize the price, right, in the weekly time frame, but it's continuing to come down. In the daily time frame, you can see after the big flush, we had the big wick like XRP. Then we came back up when we started trading up, and now we formed this uh, sort of a pennant formation right there, which is a neutral continuation pattern. But when you're coming off a flush like that, oftentimes these pennant formations, which is a symmetrical triangle coming off a big move to the downside or a big move to the upside, and it's just a pennant at a just trading sideways, essentially, where you have overhead descending resistance and horizontal underneath support. And if you pump back up, you come up to these moving averages right here, and you'd have to break these shorter term moving averages to try to make another run at the 979 area or the bottom part of this VP volume indicator. If you break down, you're likely to come all the way down to a regional local flush double bottom down here at about the 587 level, right? So that's what we're looking at. The downside low target is a 587 level. If we can get a pump to the upside, your initial upper resistance after breaching the moving averages here would be the 979 level. And that's something we're going to pay attention for over the next several days as we go into the XRP price next. But if we look at the US dollar, dollar shines as US economy outperforms yen, plummets 10-month low, right? The yen, the Chinese yen is at a 10-month low to the United States dollar, and the Chinese need a low dollar or need a low currency, local currency, because a weak local yen provides the jobs to where they can have the jobs over there, and a high dollar in comparison means we ship jobs out of the United States because it's more expensive to produce things and conduct business here, and it's very cheap in the manufacturing to manufacture consumer goods, products, televisions, microwaves, dishwashers, forks, spoons, knives, silverware, all that in China, where they can pay a very, very cheap wage over there in the United States. These manufacturing companies have a lot of um, uh, compensation they got to pay in vacation time, health insurance, extremely high wages in comparison to some of these other countries where most of the manufacturing takes place, as the United States has been reduced to a service industry economy. Dollar falls, bond yields higher. Anti-gridlock stocks slide, right? Stocks fall, dollar and yields up after U.S. service data. And if we take a look at this, a dollar pushed the yen to a 10-month trough on Thursday and keeps the euro and sterling pinned. And this was September 6th. Pinned near 3-month lows as investors place their faith in a still resilient U.S. economy, even amid a sour global growth outlook. The greenback scaled a fresh top 147.865 yen in early Asian trade, its highest since last November. Against a basket of currencies, the dollar was last 0.5% higher at 104.91, holding on some of its gains from the previous session. The stronger than expected data pushed the euro to its lowest since June at 1.0703 on Wednesday, with single currency last 0.3% lower at 1.0723. Sterling, the pound, lost 0.7% and stands at 1.24985, having also bottomed at a 3-month low at 1.24835 in the previous session. This certainly was good. So those thinking of a U.S. recession in the near term might be a little bit disappointed, said Joseph Carpuso, head of the International and Sustainable Economic Commonwealth Bank of Australia. However, book wasn't that great actually. U.S. economy growth was modest. In recent weeks, job growth was subdued, and inflation showed in the most part of the country. The Federal Reserve reported, published on Wednesday, showed, I think, that we're really driving the dollar. It's not so much the U.S. economy is doing great, but it's doing better than elsewhere, which would be a dollar milkshake theory that the rest of the world is doing even worse than the United States. Not to say the United States is doing great or the United States dollar is strong or the United States dollar should be where it's at, but in comparison to the rest of the world, it's like sitting by 3 lakes, and all 3 lakes are infested with chemicals and toxic. If you go in, drink, or touch it, it'll kill you. But lake number one, you can get in it for an hour before it kills you and drink small amounts over a period of time, and it won't kill you. But lakes number 2 and 3, as soon as you touch them, you die. Your skin melts off, your lungs seize up, and you perish immediately upon arrival. It's the best It's the best in a bad group of shit, right? Ours is the best smelling pile of shit than the rest of the world has, and that's one of the reasons the U.S. dollar continues to be the world currency. Not only that, we have the military that we force upon countries and nations that seek to remove dollar standard. We go to war with them, right? But we're the best shirt in a nasty, filthy, chemical infested uh, environment. But we're getting more into that. There's been a lot of talk about the communist countries, the Russias, the Chinas, the Saudi Arabias, and the North Koreans going to their own gold back or own currency and getting off the greenback or the U.S. petrodollar, as we like to call it around these parts. We'll get more into that. It's very important and implications and ramifications and effects are, but the implications and ramifications currently on the XRP price, it doesn't really affect it. We have continued to have this weekly sell-off now, and we are in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th straight week, uh, currently building towards the end of the 6th straight week of a sell-off after 3 weeks of bullish candles, but really all of it came in that 1 4-hour spike, and then we dropped immediately and started a new week from a low, pumped up to a high, traded sideways for a week, and now we've come down. And what I'm fearing is we might have to come down, and like I told you, capitulation will come before probably the next happening in early 2024, but capitulation is good. You should embrace capitulation. You should understand what capitulation is. It's all the weak hands, all the malinvestment, and all the erroneous, nefarious, and fraudulent companies out there go out of business and go bye-bye of the same way as Luna, the same way as FTX, the same way as all those shysters and criminals, organizations that were fleecing people out of their hard-earned fucking money go away in the great capitulation, and then comes out and rises from the phoenix are the few coins, the 1% coins as I've deemed them, that are the coins in the blockchain technology of the future that will be there and that will thrive. And you need to look at capitulation as a once in a lifetime gift, a once in a lifetime opportunity, and a once in a lifetime chance to strike from being educated and informed at a cheap price in capitulation. As I feel that you could have a capitulation on the order of 60 or 70%. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. But if it does happen, don't be scared. If it does happen, don't get emotionally manipulated by the criminal gangster cartel that will execute this dump, will execute this capitulation, and will execute this flush flawlessly in order to manipulate emotionally, mentally, and physically the retail trader and the weak hands, and that will misread and misunderstand what's going on. And all the coins they've accumulated all at the top, because the only time these people they're targeting buy are up here, and after that most recent pump. And then when they dump the price down to these far suppressed levels that nobody thinks is even imaginable, they'll sell. And right as they sell, the big bull market starts, the turnaround starts, the bottoming happens, the rounding bottom, the bullishness, the shorts cover, the momentum builds, the retail trader flows in even harder, and before you know it, you have 5, 6,000, 2,000% skyrocket, and then it's too late, and then you've missed out, and then you're sick, and then you're emotionally torn and don't know what to do. Look at capitulation if and when it happens as the greatest wealth transfer in world history, and something that will only happen once in your lifetime. And you need to be there to strike, you need to be there to buy, and you need to be there to understand what's actually happening. As if you get down into these dark, deep, depressed levels, the shithouse in red, or the last line of defense to the shithouse in orange, and you slip below it somewhere in between here and bounce, buy, buy big, buy a lot, buy fast, and buy aggressive. And then if you get down into this shithouse, which would be very sick for people that are holding and hodling, very depressing and suicidal for you, but you got to look at it if you haven't bought, you got to look at it if you haven't fulfilled your bag, that this is a once and the last time, if it ever got down there, you would ever get to buy XRP at this level. And if you bought XRP at 11 cents, say it magically, we woke up one day and it was 11 cents. People that were just buying it at 75 cents, say you wanted to buy $1,000 times 0.75, the people that FOMO'd in, you're getting 750 coins. Say you wanted to buy $1,000 times 11 cents. Oops. 0.11 times. Oop, I did that wrong. 1,000 divided by 0.75 is 1,300 coins, right? At 75 cents. But 1,000 divided by 11 cents, you're getting 9,000 coins. You're getting almost 1,000% more coins. You're getting minus 1,300 coins or whatever that said. You're getting 7,790 more coins, more value by waiting and strategically buying. And already, that's why I told you don't buy into the pump. When people were asking XDC, XLM, and the rest of these coins, XRP, that pumped, I said don't buy. Go watch those videos. I made extensive, very informative and educational videos why you don't buy the pump, because we were forecasting a dump, right? And there would always be a better buying opportunity. It was the news lining up with the manipulation, lining up with the technicals and the judge to orchestrate one of the biggest frauds, one of the biggest felonious, erroneous, and pumps that have ever taken place to trick and to fleece the retail trader, just to roll it over on them right behind it and uh, uh, make people misread the signal, and now they're in a hole, now they're panicking, and now they're scared, and they're going to be hesitant to buy if it drops to some very, very low level, say between 10 and 18 cents. These people that wanted to buy at 75, 85, and 95 cents during the 3, 4 hours that it was up there and that massive, massive pump, they will be too scared to buy down here. And the market manipulators that sold these assholes that sold these uneducated, emotional buyers and retail traders at 65, 75, 85, and 95 cents that day, and then sold it to those retail traders, will be the same ones to buy it back from those retail traders if the price ever got down into this level, 18 cents or lower. The retail trader that bought it from the market institutional investor would sell it back to him down here, take a 99% loss, and then the guy that made all the money up here, the institutional trader, an institutional criminal gangster mob type organization, would buy it back from that same retail trader down here, and again ride the magnificent, phenomenal, once in a lifetime generational pump in bull market. And then when the price goes to $3, $2, $4, $8, they would sell it back to those same uneducated retail traders. Like, subscribe, and share. It's a mental game, it's an emotional game, it's an educational game, and it's an information war against you to try to get financial freedom, peace, and love.